Hello everybody, I'm Dean Miller. I'm sorry, I may have come at you really fast and loud there. Sorry about that. I'm Dean Miller and I'm the dog counselor. And I am here, I'm petting my dog Flip. That's Flip right there. I'm petting Flip down here, so don't, in case you're wondering what I'm doing with my hands, I'm petting my dog. Beautiful boy. Okay, I am Dean Miller, the dog counselor. I think I already said that, so I'm already being redundant. Some of you may be a little confused today because we're coming over from a different page. We're on the Shiba Inu page today, when normally we're on the Wolf Driver page. I think we're working out some issues. I think Bill Hellman, our fearless leader at Wolf Driver over here, is working out some issues with the Facebook program for live streaming. So I'm not sure why we're doing different pages right now, but trust me, I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here ready to talk to you about dog issues, dog training, dog counseling, dog whatever. I do encourage you to send me questions, to talk to me about anything you want to talk about. You can send questions live, or after the broadcast is over, you're welcome to send me emails at dean@thedogcounselor.com. My website is, of course, thedogcounselor.com, and when you have issues about dog training, you can contact me there. Thedogcounselor.com tells you a little bit about my history. I don't want to go into all that here and talk about myself, but you can read more about me there, and send me emails with your questions or thoughts. I also do in-home training. I come to people's homes. Usually my sessions last approximately 90 minutes for basic issues. I do travel. I'm in the Nashville, Tennessee area. I've been training for probably about 15 years now. And anytime you need me to travel, though, I'm happy to travel. I do Skype training. I'll set up Skype sessions with you, or telephone sessions, or whatever. We can work it out, but I can certainly help you with your dog. Of course, it's easier to train when I'm in person with you, when I'm in your home. You know, there's no substitute, I believe, to training a dog in their own territory. A dog is going to behave differently in his or her own home than they are in a class, out in public with other dogs, other people around. A dog is going to be more their natural, whatever their natural personality is in their own home, I believe. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you want to drop some notes, or you want to drop some questions in to the little box over there at the bottom of your screen, if you want to send some questions about dogs or dog training. Today, the topic I'm going to try to focus on is the needs of your dog. Many people don't even think about that. I know it's crazy, but a lot of people don't think about, when they're adopting a dog, what the dog's needs are. What kind of dog am I getting, and what are the needs of that dog? What made me think of this was I had a session today. Today was a follow-up session with a family that I had trained these dogs before. And so today was a follow-up session. These dogs are 3 West Highland Terriers. And these little guys, they're little white dogs. If you aren't familiar, you can Google and look up what a West Highland Terrier looks like. But these guys are a little pack of 3 dogs. And 2 of the dogs have been with the family, one for 12 years and one for, I believe, 7 years. And all of a sudden, a few months ago, they adopted this 3-year-old rescue dog. And this dog had been neglected and been through some terrible past issues, and they brought this dog into their home, into their dynamic with these 2 already well-established dogs. And when they brought the new dog in, the new dog started bullying one of the other dogs very, very badly, actually pushing them both around. One dog kind of fought back, and then the dog didn't give that dog trouble. But the other dog, they had huge fights and huge issues. And, you know, I believe that is because they had 3 dogs in a pack, in a home where there are 2 adults, and one adult travels a lot. So there's really oftentimes 1 adult human in the house with 3 dogs. And what begins to happen, in my opinion, is that dogs have a pack mentality, right? So they will group up, and they communicate in ways we don't even fully understand, all the ways they communicate. So when they get this pack mentality going, they'll follow the idea or thought of the pack. So for example, if the idea is to attack, then the other dogs move in and attack together. But they get this, they communicate with each other. So it's kind of like, for example, if you lived in a home with 3 people who only spoke French, right? And you only spoke Portuguese, well, all day long, these three people are speaking in French and they're understanding each other perfectly, but you're not understanding anything they're saying. So who do you think's gonna win out and get their way in that situation? It's gonna be the three who speak the same language. So what I do in a situation like that is I come in and I kind of assess the dynamic of the three dogs in the household and the parent. And in this situation, you know, I'm not talking out of turn. The mom knows this. The human mom in this house was humanizing the pack and kind of treating them with nothing but love and affection and sweet talk. And there was no leadership or structure to the pack. So they were running a free-for-all and making up their own kind of rules. And the one dog that came from a rescue, that dog, I often say that, you know, when a dog is young, when a dog's 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, you know, they're growing up. They're a young baby. They're going from baby to toddler to child. They're learning the things about life that they need to learn. And if they're neglected or they're abused or they're in a rescue or they're somewhere that's not a normal structured home life, they don't get the things they're supposed to get. And in a situation like that, often they will revert to their wild ways more than if they were taught at an early age. So I believe sometimes there are some dogs, not all dogs of course, but when you bring some dogs into a dynamic that is very humanized, like this case where there was a rescue dog brought into a very humanized home with two other dogs, oftentimes that rescue dog brings a very animal instinct with them because they've grown up without structure or discipline or guidance, and they've reverted back to their wild animal instincts, and so that dog is developing, I call it a prison mentality, okay? If you're thrown into prison, I don't care how nice a person you are, if you don't get tough, you're not gonna survive. Or at least put on the appearance of toughness, right? So oftentimes we get this rescue dog that's been through rescues and shelters and homes and neglected in backyards or tossed around or abused, and they've learned the only way I can survive is if I get tough, right? I gotta get tough. So if these dogs come into a home that's been humanized and taught well and is very calm and peaceful, oftentimes that dog is trying to establish dominance, overtake the house, become the strong dog, you know, get in there and show who they are, right? Their toughness. And that can lead to a very stressful dynamic in a household. So they bring that prison mentality, that animal survival mentality, and if you don't provide discipline and structure, that dog's gonna take over or bully other dogs or create a problem for you. In this particular case, I just helped the mom overcome her humanizing projection onto the dogs of human attributes and logic and lots of language. I just encouraged the mom to meet the dogs where they were, and then back on topic, because of course I wander off topic a lot. But back on the topic, you know, I encourage the mom to fulfill the dog's needs. When you fulfill a dog's needs, they're happier, they're more peaceful, they're more content, and they're more apt to bond to you and listen to you and love you as their alpha dog leader when you're fulfilling their needs. If you don't fulfill your dog's needs, if you're just there having them fulfill your needs, it's kind of like a one-sided relationship. It's like you know, I hate to say, but like a human romantic relationship. If one person loves the other one and the other one doesn't love them back, you have a real dysfunctional dynamic. And oftentimes we get these dogs and we just baby them and treat them like they're little baby humans, and they're fulfilling our needs. So many times when someone says, I'm gonna get a dog, right? They think I'm gonna go out and get a dog, and then I'm gonna have someone to love and someone to cuddle and someone that'll be my baby and fulfill all my empty things inside, right? But they're not thinking, what about what the dog needs? That's a living creature with structure and needs and thoughts and feelings. So I also would say that, you know, you have to think about the kind of dog you're getting. You know, a Siberian Husky doesn't have the same needs as a Basset Hound, and a Border Collie doesn't have the same needs as a French Bulldog. You know, they're totally different types of dogs, just like we have different types of humans. There are basic needs that are all the same in humans, right? but everyone is individual and different and has personality traits. Same with a dog. Dogs have basic individual structures in the way their brain is wired and stuff like that. But the individual dog has their own individual ideas about life, instincts, desires, needs to be, totally fulfilled, So basically, let's use as an example a Siberian Husky versus a Basset Hound. Let's just talk about those two for right now, and maybe it'll give you kind of a little perspective. A Siberian Husky is a working breed, right? They have this need to do something. They have this need to be fulfilled, to do a job, to have exercise, lots of exercise. They're very active, They're very smart, so they need mental stimulation. They have very thick coats to protect them from cold environments. They need a different kind of food than your average Yorkie needs, or something like that. So like I was using a Basset Hound as an example. A Basset Hound has different dietary needs than a Siberian Husky who's working all day. So let's say, for example, I just got back from New York City, right? And I saw dogs galore. New York City is a very dog-oriented place, and you will see people with dogs left and right, these city dogs that, I don't know how they do it, these dogs that stay so focused on their owner and survive in this very unnatural environment for a dog. But let's say you live in a one-bedroom apartment in New York City, and you want to get a Siberian Husky. I think that's an insane choice, okay? So you take a dog that's need is to work all day, that's need is to focus and try to do a job and have a lot of mental stimulus and go all day, and then you put them in an apartment in New York and then ask them to just be your cuddle dog and go out for a couple of walks a day. That is not only not fulfilling a dog's needs, but by denying those needs, you're actually driving them crazy. So imagine if you had these needs to be active and go, and then somebody diminished your needs, held back your needs, So you got to think ahead to, does this dog and the dog's needs, does that dog do you fulfill its needs with your life and lifestyle? Now, a Basset Hound, for example, they have less energy needs, they have shorter legs, they need less exercise and to move around. They still need exercise, they still need stimulation and things to do and jobs, but certainly they're not, a Basset Hound isn't going to pull your sled all day in Alaska, right? So you just have to think in terms of the dog's needs. Now, I've written some notes about this. One of these things I want to go into is mental stimulation, okay? We often think about, okay, I've taken my dog on a long walk, I've taken them to the park, and of course, those things fulfill the dog's needs. That helps the dog with their physical needs. But we sometimes forget about the dog's mental stimulation. When we have a child, that child goes to school, that child does, I got a comment here, hold on, what is the comment here? Oh, okay, what are Shiba Inus? That's kind of a sidetrack question, but it's a breed of dog, Shiba Inu, and they're very active as well, and they're very, very smart, and they need stimulation. Definitely, a Shiba Inu needs stimulation. I think we're on this page today just to be able to change around different places and gather some different interesting people from different areas of life. And Shiba Inu lovers are just as much dog lovers as anyone else. So I hope you'll join our audience in the Wolf Driver group, because that's what we're all based in. These shows are on the Wolf Driver channel, the Wolf Driver page in Facebook land, and this is our logo, and I'm just one of the shows. I'm Dean Miller. I do the Dog Counselor Show. This is kind of like a commercial in the middle of my show, but I do the Dog Counselor Show. I'm known as the Dog Counselor. I train dogs, I teach dog behavior. I'm the author of a book called A Dog's Way. This is my, I'm very proud of this book. It's about the way dogs change us, and if we can open up to the way they are and their ideas and thoughts, we become better people by being dog understanders. Okay, so the book A Dog's Way is available on my website, which is thedogcounselor.com. It's also available on Amazon.com, and I hope you'll check it out. So again, you can see I'm ADD. I tell people I have ADD, attention dog disorder. I jump topics all the time. So let's get back on topic, which is fulfilling dogs' needs. That's my topic for the day. Mental stimulation is where we were. So let's talk about mental stimulation. What if you lived in a house, right? And I told you, okay, you're going to get love and food and affection, but you're never allowed to read a book. You're never allowed to look at television. You're never allowed to do anything that stimulates you mentally. That would be insane, right? And you'd go stir crazy. And so do our dogs. And then they try to entertain themselves. They chew something, or they pull something up, or they do something, and then we criticize them, yell at them, get mad at them because they've torn something up. I mean, it makes no sense to me. I don't know why people can't really obviously see that a dog needs to be mentally stimulated. And I wanted to talk about some ways we can stimulate our dog mentally, and what might be appropriate for your particular dog or breed. Now, you know, different breeds are different. A border collie, an Australian shepherd, you know, a dog like that is born to work all day. They're born to herd cattle. They have an instinct to work on the farm and do jobs and stuff. If you put that dog in an apartment with nothing to do, that's just cruel. That's like putting a fish in an aquarium that is a fish born to roam the ocean. You know, it's not fair. So a good thing for like a border collie, for example, or an Australian shepherd, agility. I'm sure most of you know about agility training, where they, you know, go over the obstacles and through the tunnels and around the weave poles. And this is very stimulating for a working dog, and it also helps you to bond with and partner with your dog in agility training. Now, agility training is great for a work breed like that. It's terrible you can't take a French Bulldog out there and do agility training, or take a French Bulldog out there or a Basset Hound and do agility training. They're just not built for it. So I encourage you to really think about the needs of your breed, the needs of your particular dog. There are all kinds of games you can play with your dog. Of course, we all know the obvious ones: fetch, tug of war, fetching balls. There are all kinds of dog games you can play. But many people don't know that they make actual games for dogs, board games. They make these games that have panels that slide, and the dog can learn which panels have food behind them, and the dog can slide the panel with their nose and reach in and get a piece of food. And so these board games are really, really stimulating for a lot of dogs. They're really helpful. Toys, lots of different toys that the dog can play with on their own. The dog can play with other dogs with the toys, interactive toys. You know, these are great things to consider when you're getting toys for your dog. What are going to be your particular dog's favorites? You know, just like a person, one kid likes to play with trains and cars, and another kid likes to play with dolls. Well, some dogs like a tug of war toy, some dogs like a chew toy. I have 4 dogs. 2 of them love to tear up squeak toys and stuffed toys and rope toys. 2 of them could not care less about those toys. 2 of them want nothing but a rawhide, and even then sometimes they're not even interested in a toy. So every dog's different. You just have to find your dog's magic little thing that they like. Interaction is often just as good as a toy. You know, we tend to be on opposite schedules of our dog, right? So we go to work all day, for example. We go to a job. We work 8 hours a day. And our dog sits at home in a kennel or in a room or loose in our house. And that dog is napping all day and not very stimulated, not much to do. And then we come home at the end of a very overworked, stimulated day, walk in the house at 5 or 6 o'clock, and the dog's been napping all day. They're ready to go. And we're exhausted. We just want to sit down and have dinner and watch TV. And so we shoo the dog off, or, you know, put them in the yard and hope they'll work it out for themselves, or, you know, take them on a begrudging walk that we don't even want to be there. It's so unfair to the dog. If you can't live a lifestyle that fulfills the dog's needs, if you're going to neglect the dog's needs, it's really not fair to get a dog. You know, we wouldn't have a child if we couldn't raise that child, if we weren't committed to raising the child. And I think adopting a dog is as big a commitment as having a child. This dog depends on us 100%. They cannot survive without us. They need us for everything, and we need to think about their needs and what they need as much as what we need. Now I'm going to touch this little button because it tells me how much time I've got left. I'm always amazed at how the time flies on this training video that I do, the talking, a show, okay? A Facebook show, the live streaming that I do every week. I'm always amazed at how the time flies. I must just enjoy rambling on and on. But we're already 10 minutes away from the end here, so I better get through my notes here. You know, often we don't think about this, but I'm amazed at how many houses I go and I train and teach these dogs. And I'll come to a house, for example. This happened to me at the dog's house with the West Highland Terriers. I spoke earlier about these 3 West Highland Terriers that I talked with, that I met with today, and one was 12 years old, and one was 7, and one was 3. And none of these dogs were taught things like sit, stay, shake. They didn't even have the basic commands. And I'm thinking, how do you have a dog in your house for years and years and you don't teach them anything? We just live and let them live. That's like kind of like having a 3-year-old in your house. Your dog is like a 3 or 4-year-old child that never fully grows up, okay? And to turn them loose in your house and have no expectations of them is really unfair. It's very unfair. I always say, when you have a child and you say, eat your vegetables and do your homework and go to bed at 8, you are loving them. When you say do your chores, wash the dishes, mow the lawn, clean your room, you are loving them. You're preparing them for life, just as much as taking them to Disneyland and giving them ice cream. So with dogs, we give them treats and we give them love, we give them affection, but we tend to skip the part that says, that says do something. And a dog really wants to follow a leader, follow rules, know to do something, have a job to do. So basically, you want to at the very least, if you can teach your dog to come to you, sit, listen to a couple of basic commands like that, it'll change your dog's life, it'll change your life. So just throughout the day, you tell your dog, sit, stay, come, lie down. You're actually mentally stimulating your dog. You're giving them a great gift. You're giving them structure. So at the very least, I encourage you to teach your dog basic obedience if you have a dog. It fulfills their needs as much as it helps you, creates joy. Like, for example, if you say to your dog, sit, and the dog sits, and you light up, and you're so proud, that's kind of like a child saying, look, I got an A on my spelling test, or I got an A on my report card, and you light up and you're proud, and the child is proud, and everybody's proud of themselves. That's what the exchange is. That's what's happening with your dog. So give your dog something to do, to be proud of like that. It's a beautiful part of a relationship with our dogs. Let's talk about balance. I was just talking about balance. We want structure and discipline balanced with love and affection. We don't want all love and affection, and we don't want all structure and discipline. You want a balance, right? And so that's a loving dog-parent relationship, just like a child-parent relationship. It's balanced, and then a dog feels balanced and in control and relaxed, and they can handle the needs of life as well as, making us happy and having love and cuddling. So think about balance in your relationship to your dog when you're teaching them. One of the things that gets overlooked so much in dog training is socialization. A dog really, really needs socialization with other dogs. They can't just be with us humans. That is sort of like, it's sort of like us, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Socialization, it's sort of like, okay, if you never saw human beings, right? If you only saw dogs, wouldn't you feel like something was missing from your life? Or you only saw people who never spoke your language, or aliens from another planet. You may love that other dog, like I do. I love my dogs endlessly, but I wouldn't like to go through life never seeing another human being. Plus, dogs communicate in ways we don't even fully understand. So when they're out there running around and wrestling and playing with other dogs, they're exchanging things and socializing in ways that may not even make sense to us, but it really means something to the dogs, okay? So, for example, when we go hug somebody or shake somebody's hand, a dog must think that's the strangest social thing in the world. They must think, what are those people doing, right? Well, the same way we think, why does a dog go put their mouth all over a dog's mouth and their neck and roll around and sniff their rear end, you know? It's stuff that they need. They need socialization and understanding from other dogs. It makes them happier. It creates balance. And the thing that people don't often think about is that a dog with another dog will teach that dog stuff we don't even fully understand. So though other dogs will help train your dog for you, will make your relationship with your dog better and create a happier, more balanced, relaxed dog. Let me check this time here to make sure I'm on time here. Okay, so I've got about 5 minutes left here. I think because we changed channels today, we haven't had a lot of questions or interaction. I'm hoping that you guys find this video later, and if you do have questions or thoughts that you want to send to me, I can always be reached at dean@thedogcounselor.com. Dean, like the dean of a college, DEAN, at thedogcounselor.com, like a counselor, right? I counsel people about their dogs. I also want to remind you about my book, A Dog's Way. It's subtitled How Dogs Make Us Better People, because that's kind of what it's about. How dogs make us better people by understanding them. And that on the bag, in case let me just show off for a minute. That's my dog Henry on my shoulders. Henry's about 12 years old now, and he's the most beautiful boy in the world. I found him in the street about 11 years ago. He's about a year old, and he's an amazing dog. He's just so sweet and calm and beautiful, and I just want to brag on Henry for a minute. But please check out A Dog's Way. It's full of great information. I always say the way I train and teach is based on the way dogs communicate with each other. And when I teach people about their dogs, oftentimes it's a matter of people kind of going, I didn't know that. Oh, I had no idea. Oh, that seems so obvious. Okay, great. It's not a matter of, I'm not a very militant teacher. I'm a very hands-on, instinctual, loving, caring teacher. I love dogs. Nobody loves dogs more than me, and I train based on love. The slogan for my business is teaching through love, discipline, and mutual respect. I believe in loving our dogs. I believe in discipline just like a child, not harsh discipline, just structure and discipline, because I think they make for a happier dog and a happier relationship. And I believe in mutual respect. We should respect the dog and their needs. They should respect us and our needs, and we should find a balanced way to live in our homes. It makes for a happier home life. It makes for happier dogs, happier people. I want to thank you for joining me this week and every week on the dogcounselor.com. I'm the Dog Counselor half-hour show, which appears on the Wolf Driver. The Wolf Driver is a channel full of dog shows and dog-related information. So please just search Wolf Driver on Facebook, and you're going to find tons of stuff. Great training advice, great music, news about dogs, information. I mean, you can kind of go down a wormhole and find out an amazing amount about dogs. But please tune in. I'm on here every Sunday at 6 and Thursday at 8. Sunday at 6, Thursday at 8 Central Time. And I am on the Wolf Driver channel or whatever channel they refer you to, but I am on Facebook those times every week. I want to thank you for listening and giving me your time. I really, really appreciate it. I look forward to speaking with you guys next time. And until then, good luck with your dogs and have a great time. All right, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.